we're going to go over everything you would need to do to make a mitt at home. First, your materials. You're going to need your yarn. We're using a thicker yarn for this so you can see what we're doing, okay? You're going to need your crochet hook, and I'll be using a bigger crochet hook, but this is the size crochet hook you'll have. And you're going to need scissors maybe, okay? So, the first thing you do is yarn on, okay? And to do that, you're going to make a slip knot. A slip knot, you take your yarn, hold it in your hand, you wrap it around, the piece that's on top goes up, okay? You're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to scoop under this bottom piece of yarn, reach around and grab the top piece of yarn, and it's tricky with this one. You're going to pull it through, okay? And then you snug it up. You'll know it works because it slips. So now you've got your slip knot, your yarn is on your hook. The next thing we're going to do is a chain stitch. And that's going to give our beginning, that's our first stitches that we'll use. So what you're going to do is yarn over, and really when I say yarn over, I mean wrap the yarn around the hook. That's what we call it. If you see it in the pattern, it'll be called yarn over, or YO, and that means wrap the yarn around the hook. Okay, so slip knot, yarn over, pull it through. I'm going to do it again a couple of times. Yarn over, pull it through. Doesn't have to be tight, but it shouldn't be crazy loose either. Yarn over, pull through. That's probably a little tight. I'm going to loosen up just a little bit. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. That is what a chain stitch looks like from the top. That's what it looks like from the bottom. You want to work with, almost always, and certainly in this project, you want to work with the top. All right. Now, I'm going to make some more. The other thing that's important about the chain stitch is whether it's looser or tighter, they should be the same. They should all be about the same, doesn't have to be perfect, but about the same size. For instance, this, if I can get it through, which is a lot smaller, is probably too small. Okay, but no worries. If you need to fix something, take the crochet hook out of the yarn, put your finger where you want to stop. I want to get rid of that stitch there. So I'm going to put my finger here and loop. The magic of crochet. It's always fixable. I have my loop, put my crochet hook back in. Okay? So, chain stitch, wrap around, pull through, and how long do I need this? A little bit more. Just a few more. Okay. So, you want them all the same size. And that is what we're going to use to make our millet. I guess it's going to be a little long, but that's okay. It's going to shrink up just a little bit from where that is. To remind you, the pattern says chain 30, but you're not necessarily going to do 30 chain stitches. You're going to make it as long as you want it to be from about your first knuckle to where you want it to stop on your wrist, which can be anywhere from here. Don't make it too long or you'll probably run out of yarn. But you're going to do, and this is important, you're going to do the same number of chain stitches that you did back in the first class that we did, because you want your second mitt to match your first one. If you don't remember, you can go back and count. You just count the number of stitches. 1, 2, just like that. Each one of these is a stitch. You would count how many there are. All right, the next step that you're going to do is a double crochet into the chain. And your first double crochet will be in the third chain stitch from the hook. So, not the one around the hook, not this one. 1, 2, 3. So that is the one we're going to do the double crochet into. To do the double crochet, you yarn over, wrap the yarn around, count 1, 2, 3, and push the hook through there. I'm going to do that again. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3, and the hook goes through that, the far side, the side of the chain that's the furthest away from you. Okay, one more time. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3. You don't count the chain that's on the hook. Okay, and I'm going to do the double crochet all the way through. Yarn over, push it through, yarn over, pull that through. You should have 3 loops on your crochet hook. All right, now you've got those. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops, and now you have 2 loops left on your crochet hook. Yarn over again, pull it through the last 2. I've snagged. What happens if you snag? You stop, you gently pull the stitch out, and you start again. All right, not a big deal. That's the beauty of crochet. You can always fix it. Yarn over, 3rd chain stitch from the hook. I've got 3 loops on the chain, or 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through. Now I've still got 3. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2, and now I've got 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over again, and pull that through those 2 loops. You're left with 1 loop on the crochet hook, and that is your first double crochet. It's your first stitch along your chain. You're just going to keep going from there. Okay, so now we're just going to focus on the stitch that you do throughout the whole piece, and that's double crochet. All right, so if you look, you can see that the top of the fabric looks like the chain stitch, and those are still the stitches you're going to work with. Okay, so with the double crochet, yarn over, it goes through the next stitch, and that looks like that. Okay, yarn over, again on the back side while this stitch is still on the hook, you're going to pull that yarn through that stitch. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, pull that yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, pull it through the second 2 loops on your hook, and you're left with 1 loop on your hook. That is a double crochet stitch. Okay, so yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull that back through the stitch, 3 loops, yarn over, pull it through the first 2 loops, you're left with 2, yarn over, pull it through the second 2, you're left with 1, and that's your stitch. I'm going to go through it slow. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like on top. And that's the double crochet stitch. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is back loop only. So once you've done your first 2 rows, you're going to start your next row. I'm going to do that again. Once you've done your first 2 rows with your double crochet stitch going through your whole stitch, both parts of the V, then you're going to start your 3rd row, and that's going to be double crochet back loop only. So first thing you do is you turn the fabric, do 2 chain stitches, and then do your first double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here. But for back loop only, you're going to do exactly what that sounds like. You're not going to go through both pieces of the stitch. You're going to go through the back loop only. All right, so that's that. Yarn over, back loop only. So this part's still there. You're in the back loop, yarn over, pull it through. And you're doing the same stitch you did before. Yarn over, pull it through the first 2 and through the second 2. I'm going to do another one. Back loop only. Do 2 more so you can see what it'll look like with the back loop only. And you see you've got a nice ridge or stripe to your pattern now. Say you're unhappy with how you did a stitch. You didn't do it right, you missed one of your yarn overs, but you did it. So, oh, I did the wrong stitch, I made a mistake. You can fix that just like you fixed it with the chains. Pull the hook out of the loop, decide where you want to stop, put your finger on it, and gently pull so that the stitch or stitches you want to remove are gone. Then you put your hook back in the loop and keep going. So that is back loop only.